I wrote Auschwitz 1945 while I was in the poetry workshop as a graduate student. And we were reading Yusuf Komunyaka's poetry, and we were assigned to imitate it. This one is kind of like an imitation, but not quite, because I'm mainly just following the structure of what he did in his poetry rather than imitating a particular poem. Auschwitz, 1945. After reading Yusuf Komunyaka's Talking Dirty to the Gods. The midnight massacre of 5,000 candles, wrought from the changeless essence of Descartes' wax, a fitting tribute to the unnumbered dead, layered in ash and dust. My lips seek words whose spirits have been swallowed up by God, and my prayer sounds as hollow as I feel. I spit epitaphs on nameless mass graves. I curse Nazis to fight the cold numbness of fragmented fingers crawling down my spine. Stem cells. The embryo may be alive, but does it have a soul? I'd give the claim a chance if I could see and touch a soul. Is faith in the existence of a God enough to make it true? If I believe in unicorns, will they too live? It's pure irrationality. The embryo cannot become a human life outside the womb, but can divide and grow. So when does it achieve its personhood? Answer that, and we would know the moral status of the embryo. Okay, this poem is reflective of my philosophical background. One of the topics that I've taught in my ethics courses is abortion, and one of the arguments related to that is the potentiality argument. And this poem is highlighting how that argument, which has relevance for the topic of abortion, because the embryo is in a suitable environment in which it can grow, does not apply to the stem cells that are in a petri dish or frozen in a container because they are not in such an environment. It also reflects a concept that I encountered called dependent origination. And it was argued by a Buddhist named Daisaku Ikeda. And I encountered it in an article by Paterson. Well, basically, what he claimed is that nothing is independent of anything. So if we think about how things come into existence, there are two factors. There are internal qualities, like the human DNA in an embryo, but there are also environmental factors that have to be present in order for the potential to manifest. So I am who I am. I am alive here now because I am in an environment that is conducive to my existence and survival. Now, if I didn't have human DNA, I would not be human. If there wasn't oxygen in this room, I wouldn't be alive. But my presence in this environment also changes that environment. And so there's an interactive process. I am not independent from the environment, and the environment is not independent from me, but instead we are all interconnected. Everything is interconnected in that sort of way. So the potentiality argument that has relevance for abortion really has no weight whatsoever in relation to using stem cells for research, because those stem cells are not in an environment that is conducive for them to develop into a human being. And unless they are implanted in such an environment, they never will be. Park bench. It is a cold October day. The ground lies frozen in the dust, and I sit as still as death and wait for the afternoon edition. My breath clings like rust hanging in the air, hanging, swirling around the center of the universe of blowing trash and tinkling wine bottles. Soon, too soon, it will snow. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, press the button for it and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your time.